So there had been a massive failed prison riot, and the warden was really hot. He was addressing the three instigators. He said, "Now then, I'd like to know two things. First off, why the revolt? And second, how did you get out of your cell?" About that time, one of the prisoners stepped up. He said, "Warden, we rebelled because the food here is awful." And the warden said, "I see. Okay. Well, and the cell, what did you use to break the bars?" The same prisoner said, "Toast." I'm KJ, and this is KJ's What Happened. Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing okay out there, man. It was a busy week for me. I put some videos out. Most of you guys have already heard the news. I had a strike on my other channel and then a strike on this one. It's a warning, since it's my first one, all for medical misinformation. But this past week, I wound up deleting all of my KJ's What Happened shows from my main channel and several videos, and I uploaded them other places. Most of you already know that. So if you didn't check it out, go to the main channel. I get some videos up about it, some updates and stuff. Otherwise, always busy working on other things. So I've got more stuff coming out this week. I have to reschedule the call-in with KJ. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll reschedule that tomorrow, and we'll get that all set up. Sorry I missed it, but once again, I couldn't broadcast or anything during that week. So anyway, enough about me. How are you? I hope you're doing okay. Look, I've got a lot of goodies to show you tonight, a lot of wild stuff. Still going to show everything I want to show, but I won't be able to play certain videos. I may just have to direct you towards certain videos, okay? Because the censorship is going off the rails, man, on YouTube. It's really getting crazy. They're super hardcore about any information that's anti the you-know-what, the V, right? So really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, I think most of us get it, but so many people don't. Why are they so afraid of the other side's opinion? Why is there such a push for this everywhere? I'm seeing so much, the news, TV, commercials. I'll show you some stuff tonight. All about it. It's all about it. All right. Anyway, let's just get started. Moderators, thank you for being here as always. Big shout out to my Patreon and PayPal supporters, folks. Thank you so much. And I hope you're all doing well tonight and settled in good, because there's a lot to go through. Okay, so here's our first. Christian TV channel fined for airing harmful claims about the plan. Demic. A Christian television channel in the UK has been fined $125,000 by a broadcasting regulator for airing harmful claims about the you-know-what. Ofcom took action against Love World Limited after its 29-hour program entitled Global Day of Prayer included comments that described the you-know-what as an event planned by the deep state. Oh dear. Oh dear. See, this is what I was talking about. Why is it that having that opinion, which is my opinion, I don't call it the deep state, it's the Illuminati, the Luciferians, different secret societies working together, some against each other, but ultimately for the same goal. Christian TV channel fined for airing harmful claims about the plan. Demic. In a statement issued by the broadcasting regulator, Ofcom said they have imposed a financial penalty of $125,000 on Love World Limited after a program broadcast on its religious service, Love World Television Network, featured inaccurate and potentially harmful claims about the Crown V without providing adequate protection for viewers. Protection. You got to protect the viewers from this, from the other opinions. Yeah, we get it. It's that spirit, man. It's that Antichrist spirit is here. He's not on the main stage yet, but that spirit is very active. Portland Wokies target trees for racism. Ida B. Wells Barnett High School in Portland, Oregon is currently delaying the adoption of a new mascot, which is a tree. In today's hyper-political public education system, it seems that even trees are unable to avoid identity politics. Students were excited to celebrate natural wonders. Unfortunately, the vote on this resolution was delayed because Portland Public Schools Board has growing concerns that trees could possibly be seen as a symbol of lynchings. Unbelievable, guy. Honk, 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 honk. But that's where it's going, and I'm okay with it. This whole system has to be destroyed. It's all collapsing in so many ways, in every way. They're changing language. They're changing history. They're changing everything. That's how I see it. It's okay. It's okay. This has to happen. It's kind of interesting watching Satan truly, his spirit truly taking over the system for that final beast system, and how madness is spreading. There's no critical thinking, no logic, no reason. All that stuff's out the door. It's about feelings, how you feel. It's about being offended. Everyone's offended. My gosh, I'm offended. There you go. I'm not going to read the rest. We get it. It's on AmericanThinker.com. Popular internet pastor tells his church to take them stupid masks off during Easter service. How about that? Maybe there's a clip. Maybe not. A popular pastor from Tennessee has stirred some controversy. Oh, no. What did he do? He told them to take off their masks. Oh, he should be fined and silenced. A popular pastor from Tennessee has stirred some controversy after telling some members of his congregation to take off their stupid masks. The move came despite federal guidance urging the wearing of masks to control the spread of you-know-what. Locke, who leads the Global Vision Bible Church in Tennessee, reportedly mocked some of his congregants for following that advice like sheep. Unless you're under a doctor's orders, and a few of you are, take them stupid masks off when you come to Global Vision. There, I said it on Easter, he said. Locke declared during his Holy Week sermon, call me crazy, you come, pull up in the parking lot wearing 2 masks in a car by yourself. Call me crazy? That's crack smoking crazy is what that is. Locke made the statement after reportedly referencing Isaiah 53:6, which says, all we like sheep have gone astray, we have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord hath laid upon him the iniquity of us all. It's interesting God calls us that sheep. Not much has changed, has it? You remember this time last year? This time last year, they were like, oh my goodness, you cannot have resurrection service. You will kill everybody. You're going to kill everybody within 250 miles. He says, we ain't killed nobody yet, by the way, the pastor said. And so the media started infusing us with fear tactics. You see, they know this verse apparently. They know that people that are ignorant of Scripture willfully will obey any ridiculous mandate that the media gives them because it makes them feel better about themselves. Yeah, that's so true. Locke then praised churches like this that stayed open for Easter, stating, since we're a year in, I just want to verifiably say thanks be to God for other churches that opened, that reopened, and thank God for churches that decided that they weren't going to close at all. They saw it through. We've never closed yet. We've never closed one single time during all this debacle, he said. All right, cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm glad some pastors are talking about it. You know, I don't know what every single church is like, but my experience from knowing some people that go to church, and then my own kind of church I was raised in, and some family still goes there, but a lot of churches aren't talking about any of this. It's still just kind of, hey guys, this week we're going to talk about Jonah and the well, and that's okay. I mean, it's good to have a basic understanding of things, but it's like, red alert, red alert, red alert. Do you not see what's going on right now? Do you not understand what's happening? This is Matthew 24 territory, folks. But there's still so many people with scales over their eyes. Completely. Murder-suicide pact in Texas. Two teenage brothers kill their family, then themselves. But check this out. This is really crazy if this is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it is. In the early morning hours, 2 teenage brothers wielded guns in Allen, Texas, laying waste to their immediate family. The brothers killed themselves, parents, sister, and grandma after making a suicide pact. A close family friend confirmed 19-year-old twins Farhan and Farbin Towid, their older brother Tanvir Towid, 21, and their parents all died. The children's grandmother was also a victim. Apparently, the two brothers had made an agreement to commit suicide and ended up taking the entire family with them. Let me get down to why they did it, though. Farhan Tawad's Instagram contained a lengthy suicide note, police said. He wrote, "Hey everyone, I killed myself and my family." Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for the update. "Hey everyone, I killed myself and my family." He also discussed his ongoing battle with depression. Police said no other reasons or motives are known at this point beyond the reported depression, nor is it known why the brothers were depressed. Is this an older one? This is an older one. I'm really sorry, guys. There is an updated. This is from the 5th, like 3 days ago. Okay, there was an updated version of this I had seen where the whole reason they did this is they were angry at the TV series The Office. I know that sounds nuts, but you can look it up. Look up. It was this Pact in Texas. These brothers, same story, but the one I read a few days ago, it's an updated, I guess. And I went back looking for it, and I just grabbed this and I put this in the bookmark. So, I guess I didn't get the right one. But yeah, something about them watching The Office. They were really angry about how the series ended. They were going to give it a year, and they were going to try to contact the people that created The Office. I mean, there's a whole thing there, and this is just some minor blip, so my apologies. But anyway, moving on. I know, you want to see the story now, right? You can look it up. You'll see it out there somewhere. It says, "I'm sorry, but your COVID V passport has not been updated to show that you've also been vaccinated." Ooh, I said it. "Against the new strain of Crown V. You won't be able to fly today." Sorry. It's just a tweet I was reading. This is fun. Happy Ishtar, everybody, from the Biden family. And the stupid rabbit up there wearing a mask.
Man. All right. Thank you all. Okay.
It's all such a production. It's a reality show we're watching here. It says, "All right, see you later, everybody." Meanwhile, there's nobody out there. That's what we need to see. There's nobody there. It's
all
the
right.
biggie.
Thank you all.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all. And camera pulls away. This is a reality show, man. And again, I'm telling you that millions of people aren't paying attention to any of this. And you already know this. It's most people in your life, your friends, your family, not paying attention to any of this. No freaking clue. America's done. Look at this. It's done. This is a show. It's a reality show you're watching. But so many, again, it's going to come hard when things get really crazy and really get bad. And this is after the AC shows up, of course. It's going to be really late for a lot of people to be waking up. And still, I don't know how many will. I think a lot of people are just going to just fall right in line with this. I've told people in my own life that, now that you're starting to take these Vs, you're going to have to just keep doing it. It's not going to stop because they're going to keep creating new variants. That's going to be the new thing, like a Songbird, the movie, COVID-23. It's not going to stop. And then eventually it's going to lead to the mark. And people will look at me, "Yeah, I know you. Okay, yeah, yeah." There's no clue. And it's just pointless. It's a frustrating place to be in life sometimes, isn't it? Just all the people you're around, you can't really talk about this stuff with. You can try, but so many people, they either just don't care, or they think you're a little bit, of a tard, or whatever it is, you're touched, you're special, something's wrong. So I'm with you, all of you out there, in the frustration you may have had in just trying to wake other people up around you to even some of the most basic things. Some people think that planes were taken down after 9/11 with a bunch of guys holding box cutters. That was one of my favorites. Staggering photos show Paris has become a rubbish dump with streets, parks, and lakes overflowing with all kinds of trash. They also think people from the Middle East did 9/11. Meanwhile, it's a satanic ritual, Revelation 9/11. Bush family fully involved. One of the most wicked families ever, right there. Wicked families ever. I guess this is Paris. I've shown y'all some videos in the past of this. I guess it's getting super bad out there. They call it the city of love. No thanks. It's terrible. Whoa. It's not the romantic version of Paris I was expecting, or whether we've all been kind of raised with. It's romantic ideas of Paris and France, the French people. Wow, there you go. They crashed the borders out there. WEF globalist Klaus Schwab declares unveed people to be a threat to humanity. Of course he does. Several dozen heads of the World Health Organization. These people are terrible. The World Economic Forum and various other globalist bodies have declared that the Great Reset needs to include the establishment of a global pandemic treaty to ensure that all humans are V'd in accordance with government edicts. See? Again, there's people you can try to tell you're a tard, you're weird, you're a creep, you're out there, whatever it is, right? And they're like sheep to the slaughter. I did a video on this guy. These are the Luciferians. These are Luciferian agencies. It's Illuminati, if you will. But all of it's being used. Satan's using all these organizations to create that final one world order. Right out of the mouth of Klaus Schwab himself. Demon Klaus Schwab himself. He says we need to establish a global pandemic treaty to ensure that all humans, no choice. Okay, Klaus, you got no choice. All humans are V'd. All humans in accordance with government edicts. It ain't going away. It's not stopping. This is the plan, and they're moving forward. And there are sad times, and there will be sad times, because again, we'll see people that we care about like sheep to the slaughter, willingly stupid, willingly dumb, willingly going along with all this stuff, maybe out of fear, or it's a normalcy bias, part of it as well. I'll just Netflix and chill till this rides out. No, no, you won't. Because this system wants all humans to be V'd, whether they want to or not. I will not. I will never. This is... Okay, it's just something I was looking at. It's a girl named Nina Leone, and I can't find the thread she was talking on, but this is a girl that was hardcore SJW and all the other stuff not long ago, just over a year ago. And then I was reading in her thing here, and I saw this somewhere else. Someone posted it somewhere else in the forum. And as you go down, she explains how this lockdown and all that really woke her up. I mean, now she even has like Jesus is King up here. She's claimed Christ and following the Lord and everything. That's awesome. But she was totally on the other side of that. And she had this long thread, and I opened it here, and it's just her top there. But she had this long thread explaining the whole thing, and I thought it was wonderful. So I'm sorry I don't have it up here. I thought I did, but whenever I clicked back to her Twitter, it just took me to the top here. But I guess just sharing an example that, there are people waking up right now. Everything's shaking up, and I've talked about it for years. I see it as the true divide in humanity taking place right now. It's happening. It's been happening for a few years, and it's getting more intense. And it was great reading this person's story, just her explaining how she's realized that this is all spiritual that's happening. She really woke up. The more she realized it was just supposed to be like a 2 weeks, to curve it or whatever, right? And then here we are well over a year later, and now they're talking, we're going to be doing this till 2022, 2023. It's just going to keep pushing. It's not going to stop. They won't stop. We can fight. There's battles, different states, there are different states that are fighting. And just in your own community, there's different battles that are taking place everywhere. Sure, there's ways we can fight back, and I know many of us are. But again, this is prophecy. It has to come. This is what's coming. And we're not far away. Goodbye, everybody. I showed you Bo Jidno. Goodbye, everybody. Easter Bunny with a stupid mask on its face. Nobody out there. But the media in the world tells us this is the most popular president in American history. Guys, it's a delusion. And I've been around people that are stuck in it. I'd rather not even be around people. Honestly. It's tough. It's tough. And I'm good on my own. And don't get me wrong, I got family and I got some close friends out here and stuff, but it's just difficult to be around people that are so locked into this. And they have no clue. They're just clueless. Okay, moving on. Crown V rule breaker dies after exercise punishment. A Filipino man who was found breaking the quarantine rules has died after being made to do 300 squat-like exercises by police as punishment. Darren Maniag was allegedly stopped by officers while buying water after 1800 local time in Cavite province. On Thursday, he collapsed the following day and later died. Cavite province on the island of Luzon is currently under strict lockdown to tackle the spread of whatever. Marlo Solero, police chief of General Trias City, said there is no physical punishment for those found violating curfew rules, only lectures from officers. He told local media that if officers are found to enforce the punishment, it would not be tolerated. A relative of the victim announced his death on Facebook. He said that Mr. Penrandondo and others found violating the curfew were told to do 100 squat-like exercises in sync together. And this to me is just more of it's that spirit, that totalitarian spirit. It's the corruption in a lot of every aspect of society, and seeing some of the police become just these brutish thugs in some places and just doing stuff like this out of fun. I just wanted to buy some water. Can I just go home? I'm sorry, I wasn't at past curfew. No. You want you to do some jumping jacks, do some squats, bark like a dog for a while. It's a spirit, though. It spreading. Totalitarian, wicked spirit, dividing humanity. Wheat, tares, sheep, goats. The monsters are manifesting. This is pretty crazy right here. This is really crazy. London's fallen as Boris Johnson's thugs declare Good Friday Mass is unlawful. This took place in the UK during a Good Friday Mass in a church. This is unbelievable, man, but it's not. I always say this is unbelievable. We know this is what it is. We know this is happening. We shouldn't be surprised, but it's still pretty amazing to see some of this footage sometimes. Look at this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gathering is unfortunately unlawful under the coronavirus regulations we have currently. You are not allowed to meet inside with this many people under law. At this moment in time, you need to go home. Failure to comply with this direction to leave and go to your home address ultimately could lead you to be fined £200, or if you fail to give your details, to being arrested. I suggest, ladies and gentlemen, though it is Good Friday, and I appreciate you would like to worship, that this gathering is unlawful. So please may you leave.
And there it is, right? First the statues, then the churches, but we know eventually it was coming this way. Remember, it's Satan's system that's manifesting. It's a satanic system. I see everything like this in the spiritual, through spiritual eyes. The attacks and everything that's coming and that's happening. So we shouldn't be surprised, but it is pretty crazy. It's crazy to see that. BL plus M activist intimidate an Asian nail salon in Milwaukee. Another thing, guys, and I mentioned this in the last few weeks, that trend is still on the rise. There's so many videos of violence towards Asians. I can't show that stuff, of course, but there's a lot of that going on the last few weeks. Big trend.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. You disrespect your black people. Look at him running. He's running. Why are you running? You disrespect the black woman from this community, calling her a bitch. Called police on her. Told her to get out and disrespect Black Lives Matter. I'm here to tell you that's gonna stop. Black women, y'all shouldn't even be in this store. He disrespects black women by calling them bitches. That's gonna stop. Do I make myself clear? To scary ass. I know he called the police. Coming up in here. How do you dare you disrespect a black woman? Then make fun of Black Lives Matter. We spend money in here. What's your name, sir? What is your name? Black women, y'all shouldn't even be in this shop. Look at him running high. He running high. Disrespect a black woman from our community. Don't let nobody in here while I'm talking. All right. What's your name? Are you the owner?
Ugh, these people are such a buzzkill. Dozens of Floridians who've been, oh boy. See, here's one of those I'm not sure if I'm allowed to play, right? Like, I really want to play it. Dozens of Floridians who got the V now are ill with the COVID. It's like I feel like I should be able to play this, but you just don't know. It's all crazy. This is the times we're in, man. It's true. Anyway, just the headline. If you want to go check out the video, it's on Vidmax. Great website. It's like old school YouTube without creators, but like just you can throw anything up there pretty much. And boy, do people. They throw everything up there. Dozens of Floridians who V got ill with the C. How's that? This is awesome right here, what you're about to experience. If you haven't seen this. Crowd chants "Get out" at health inspectors trying to shut down restaurant in Vancouver. This is so awesome. This is what I'm talking about. There are battles taking place now, and you may find yourself a part of one of these someday. And this is the way to do it right here. Nonviolent, right? But strength in numbers.
What do you work
We just got file on health inspector here.
I am a woman and I follow the laws. I have no jurisdiction legally. You can see the signs on the door there. So no trespass. Okay, can you understand what you're doing here? You're trespassing over the property. You don't agree? Okay. All right.
Well, we are. You can ask to leave. Get out. 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 Get out.
Love it. It's the people fighting back right there. Love it, man. Love it. And the rest is just them kind of just talking and stuff about what just happened, but love it, man. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that great to see? Great to see that. Strange man with long hair and short shorts tells random Asian household to go back to China. Yeah, definitely short shorts.
Communist China, you're sick. Deliver. I said, it's your paper over the door. You racist, outlaw, communist China. Open the door right now.
Would you open the door if you saw that standing on your front porch?
This is a Barkley. It's a fucking show.
I would not open the door for those shorts. No way. No way. I can handle myself, don't get me wrong, but in those shorts, scary. This is another really scary one. A trans streamer sexually harasses man's wife outside of Easter Sunday church service. Again, it's a spiritual battle, right? The way I see this, it's different kind of attacks, especially on followers of Christ.
Dear Lord Jesus, I just pray for this person.
Pray all you want. I want to go check out this little piece of ass right here. Let me see what you're working with, Mama.
Lord God, I pray for this person that you would.
Man, 40 years ago, you must have been something nice.
You just draw this person away. And Lord Jesus, I just pray that you would open their heart.
Fuck you and your fantasy Santa Claus.
That they might come to know you.
Hey, seriously, Mama. You still working something nice there or what?
They might come to know you as.
No?
Yeah,
Now it's one-on-one, and
God,
now it's one-on-one, and your man doesn't want to do nothing. He was pretty brave with that other guy, but he won't save your dignity one-on-one.
And you would show this man or this woman, whatever they are.
Whatever they are. Praying for them, though. China is detaining Christians in secret facilities, forcing them to renounce their faith or be tortured. Chinese Communist Party is reportedly detaining Christians in secret facilities and forcing them to renounce their faith or face being tortured for months. A member of a Christian house church in the southwestern province of Sichuan, if I said that right, who asked to be identified by pseudonym Li, said he was held in a facility run by the ruling Chinese Communist Party, working in tandem with the state security police for 10 months after a raid on his church in 2018. Radio Free Asia reported another Christian who asked to remain anonymous told RFA that similar facilities are being used across China, not just for Protestants, but also for members of the underground Catholic Church and of the banned Falun Gong spiritual movement, a target of authorities since 1999. The communists reportedly focus mostly on targeting house churches that are not members of the CCP-backed Three Self-Patriot Association. What? Three Self-Patriotic Association. Patriotic, indeed. It's all inversion, which teaches people a CCP-approved version of Christianity because it views Christianity as a national security threat. Christianity, or just Jesus himself, and then those of us who've accepted him as our savior and follow him, that is the most powerful, most dangerous force on this earth to this system. It absolutely is. You bet it is. I don't want to read this whole thing. It's a long article, but it's on the Daily Wire, and this is actually happening. Now, there you go. We just don't hear about it much, right? There's this thing with Evergreen keeps popping up. I've got a video I'll show you later. It'll make more sense when you see it. Portland school fears Evergreen's mascot tied to lynching. So just more of this woke madness, which woke is really just nihilism. That's what it is. Portland school fears Evergreen's mascot tied to lynching. Goodness gracious. But it's more of the tree stuff. This is back to the tree thing. I think, yeah, this is the same story. It's about the evergreens, the trees, and how they could have been used. We got it. It's nonsense. We understand. Weren't these meant to do this? Matt Hancock faces fury as he says multi-billion-pound plan to test everyone twice a week is the only way, quote, back to normal, despite fears surge in, quote, false positives could derail lockdown easing. Boris Johnson is set to confirm the scheduled April 12th relaxation of restrictions on pubs and shops later today. It's from a few... what? This is March or April 12th. This is only the 8th. Okay. Prime Minister will also unveil a multi-billion-pound scheme for 2 free tests per person per week. Yay! You got yours yet? I hope you don't. I'm not. Have you seen those videos of those little black fibers that are on the end of the tests? I think I showed you guys this on 1 or 2 of these shows. I've been really looking up more of that stuff. I even wish I could. I wish I had a microscope. I could do my own experiment. But if I find that I believe that's really what's real and it's happening, and they're finding these black fibers that they react to heat and water. They're finding them not only on the end of the Crown V tests with swabs, but also inside masks. So that's what I've been watching. Maybe you've seen. So I think I may have one of those videos up tonight anyway. So, okay, we get it. We're going to move on. It's Daily Mail. Buckle up for the ads, right? Okay. I think this is it. How long is this? It's only 5 minutes. Okay, that's good. Check it out. It's a robot voice, which is fine, but usually not a fan, but we'll let it pass this time. I get it. But just check this out. This is exactly what I was just talking about, the fibers.
Is testing the so-called test. Never mind what the developer, an inventor, Carrie Mullis, had to say about that. Key question today: what do those swabs do? Original, sterile, and clean to make sure everything is as it is designed to be. Whatever that might be. Now for a closer look. Cotton swab first for comparison. And now the COVID-19 test swab. Sorry, that reaction to a recommended warming of the material made me twitch as well. Let's get back to that. Up to you, what to make of that. I suggest we move on to try something really insightful. Test some meat, to see what it actually does to you, in contact with soft skin, or mucous membrane especially. As you can see, the meat is spotless. Let's go with the cotton first. Remember to check if you can see a difference each time. "1,000-fold magnification. Clean meat. Look exactly, despite really working it, no trace." Now the coveted swab. And just a gentle touch. You can already see the first spikes that have broken off, on their way into the flesh. Let's have a closer look. Those spikes broke off and penetrated the meat. It took little time to realize. They were everywhere.
There's a little black one down there.
Straight up. When looking at the swab, obviously by design. Meat cells to the left, showing the magnification level, and to the right a spike, that's small. Going straight in. Swab after touching the meat. Barely anything came out with it, but a large of it remained, on end. In the flesh. So to conclude, I cannot tell you what this black twitching fiber is, because I do not know. It could be something that came from the air like in no time and acted the way it did when coming in contact with warm air. Big could, though. But here are the facts. If the task was to harvest a bit of genetic material, a normal cotton swab would do just fine. This spiked swab, however, obviously has a different purpose. It is highly ineffective in harvesting materials compared to wrapped material that is off course. Much better for scraping and collecting genetic material. Unlike, for example, trying to clean your ears with a swab that doesn't get the material out, so much as it leaves its material inside. The coveted swab, however, does sting and break, the exact opposite of what you are looking for when trying to get something out of something. Instead of leaving half your tool, together with the material you claim to want to harvest, inside. So if anything, the swab is a delivery system and not a harvesting tool. It leaves large amounts of itself at where it touches skin and flesh, and this material stings and penetrates.
It's probably why when they stick it in there, the swab, they do that little turn, they really kind of grind it in there a little bit. That's probably just saying. Could be. What do you guys think about that? Another mysterious metal sculpture pops up, this time in Iron County. So we have another one of these obelisks, which are signs of the new age, signs of a coming age, signs of the Antichrist reign. My opinion. Symbolically, that's what they've stood for. It's enlightenment, illumination. Of course, people always gather around these things, don't they? Acting on a reader's tip, Cedar City News set out Saturday afternoon to locate and document the large metal sculpture, within the Three Peaks recreation area. The reader's photo depicted a person standing next to a steel panel jutting upward with an outcropping of rock visible in the background, giving it an appearance similar to the one discovered in southeastern Utah last November. So we can get some pictures of it here. There you have it. And there have been over a dozen over the last several months pop up ever since that first one was found out in the middle of nowhere. MI6 flies the trans flag at its headquarters. MI6 is like the CIA for the UK. MI6 flies the trans flag at its headquarters for the first time as Boss C say trans and non-binary spies have made the Secret Service stronger. But this whole system's moving towards that as well. Right? The Baphomet system, the trans. And if Obama does come back and turns out to be that AC, well, got his wife is the embodiment of this as well. FBI promises to hunt down anyone who lies about taking the Crown V as the vaccine passports loom. Really just the headline. We get it. Tell you, it's going to be nuts, man. Can you imagine like what that's going to be like? There's going to be millions of us, but we're not going to be able to enact with society. We'll be able to go to bars, restaurants, shop. I mean, that's what the vaccine passport, that's the beginning of that. Right? And many of us understand where that's leading. This is biblical. This is revelation. It really is that mark of the beast. It literally says in the Bible, with it, you cannot buy, sell, or trade. And now in your news, every single night, they're talking about these VPs where unless you have it, you can't what? Buy, sell, or trade, ultimately. You can't enact with this or interact with this society, but fine. It's like, oh, you can no longer interact with the beast system. And just remember, if we're here for it, if we have to go through it, you know, the Lord will be with his. And God's going to guide us. I believe that. I know it. He tells us that. So it's not a time for fear. I'd rather not be here, but you know, we'll see how it plays out, right? I pray for the Harpazo for sure. Boy, this is a tough one. Another one, no man. Check this out. Here's how you do it. Another awesome video. You're welcome. Gestapo came again to intimidate church parishioners during Passover. So this is another church where the police are walking into the church during their Passover service, Easter service. And we know it's Ishtar, but many of these people in their hearts and minds are doing it for Christ. It's their intention, right? And God knows your heart. That being said, check this out.
Get out. Get out of this property immediately. Out. I don't want to hear anything. Out of this property immediately. I don't want to hear a word. Out. Out. Out of this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out. 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 Out of this property. Immediately out. Immediately go out and don't come back. I don't want to talk to you. Not a word. Out of this property. Out of this property. Immediately out. I don't care what you have to say. Out. Out. Out of this property, you Nazis. Out. Out. Gestapo is not allowed here. Immediately, Gestapo is not allowed. Out. Do you understand English? Get out of this property. Go. So go. Go. And don't come back without a warrant. Out, Nazi. Out.
I love it.
Out. You understand? Nazis are not welcome here. Out. And don't come back without a warrant. Do not come back without a warrant. You understand that? You're not welcome here. Nazis are not welcome here. Gestapo is not welcome here. Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths.
Love it.
Unbelievable, sick, evil people.
Yes.
Intimidating people in a church during the Passover. You Gestapo, Nazi, communist, fascists. Don't you dare coming back here.
That's righteous anger, folks.
Imagine those psychopaths. Passover, the holiest Christian festival in a year, and they're coming to intimidate Christians during the holiest festival? Unbelievable. What is wrong with those sick psychopaths? It's beyond me. Wow. Wow. How dare they? How dare they? Sick people. Sick people. Unbelievable. We're living in a
That's pretty much it. Well, we'll listen to them.
A total takeover of the government with their thugs, goons, the brown shirts, the Gestapo wannabe dictators coming to the church armed with guns and tasers and handcuffs to intimidate during Passover celebration? Well, I guess that's what it is. They want to enslave us all like the Egyptians did. They want to be pharaohs of today.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what they're doing. Unbelievable. People, if you're not wake up, stand up.
By the way, a lot of people messaged me and sent me stories about the Egyptian ceremony they just did. I'm on it. Thank you. And it'll be a part of a new video I'm working on now. Because the Egyptian angle on all this it's right here. They've been showing it to us here in America. America is Egypt. I did a video on that a while back anyway. A lot of similarities to Egypt.
Wow, I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow if Canadians will not rise up. Look what is happening in Germany. Germany is taken over by fascism again. The wannabe Hitlers are already ruling. You cannot even leave from one city to another. It's a total lockdown. If you will not be vaccinated like a dog or a cat, you will not be able to buy or sell. You will not be able to go to school or work. Is that the future you want? Is that what you want for your children and your grandchildren? Seriously, is that the future of Canada? That's the future of Canada? Wow. Unbelievable.
There we go. Okay, it was Canada. I thought it was America for some reason at first. Moving on. 14-year-old and 12-year-old charged in connection with Atlantic City Boardwalk store owner's death. I bring this up. There's a little clip here. Because last week there was a story. I don't know if I showed you guys or not, but it was a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old tried to rob a guy's car. He was like a 60-something-year-old guy. He ran up, tried to jump in the car. They drove off as he was hanging on the side of the door, and they rolled the car and killed him. Just a couple kids, though. And now we get, this week, now we get this story here.
How long did your father own this store?
More than 30 years.
30 years. What was your father's name?
Mahmoud Ansari. He was the heart of Atlantic City.
It was the heart of Atlantic City.
Yes, everybody loved him. Everybody loved him. He's a very gentleman. He's very nice. He's a good friend. He's a good father. He did good things for his city. He wanted to do so much good things for his city.
Well, that place right behind you, the older brother, he was uncle to me. He was just like a father, 25 years. He was killed by hatred, by the lack of a protection of the local city. You call it security, you call it police, you call CRDA. We don't give a damn what you call. He was killed here yesterday.
Spent some time with the family last night, and listen, it's not acceptable. This isn't a black city. This isn't a white city. We're all one city together. It's unfortunate what happened. The matter has been turned over to the Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office in conjunction with our police department.
That's about it. I guess we didn't get much of the story, but all right. This is crazy. It's more dystopian nightmare news here for you folks. See if I can actually get the thing up here. Come on, guys. There we go. Check this out. Louisiana man arrested in Disney after refusing a temperature check. The guy paid like $15,000 to be there. And check this out.
You're being asked to leave the premises by Chris, who is a security manager at Disney Springs. Listen to me, sir. Sir, they're asking you to leave. We are going to escort you out now, sir. You are officially being trespassed. Okay, so where are you refusing to leave, or are you going? Sir, start walking, sir. You telling me I spent $15,000? Put your hand behind your back, sir. You refuse to leave.
Some of these cops, not all, but some of these police, they love this newfound authority. It's human nature. It's not all of them, I'm sure, but it's a lot of them. I see it. I see these clips. They love it. Oh, we'll haul you in. Oh, you're not going to do what I told you? Okay. Taking you in. Of course, there's still good police out there, too. Of course. I wish there were more. But human nature dictates, that not all going to be good guys, not all going to be bad guys. It's going to be a mix.
The whole chronology.
Here's another one of those I'm not allowed to play, but you should check it out. And this is the kind of stuff you can share with people that call you names and think you're stupid when, it's the other way around. And we don't call names or call them stupid, but we're trying to help people. Irish professor Dolores Cahill on Crown V, life expectancy is maybe only a few years. This is over on BitChute. Spirit to All BitChute channel. And I highly recommend you go check it out. It's a short video. It's only a minute long. It's good stuff, good info. One of those things you can share with people again and just hopefully help them out. Now, this is great right here. Really proud of Charles Barkley. Not a basketball guy myself. In fact, I don't watch sports at all, except for the occasional UFC fight. But this makes me a fan of Charles Barkley. Not the sports side of him, but just him as a human being and a man. Good stuff here. Check it out. Charles Barkley is a big deal, by the way, if maybe people in other countries don't know. Famous basketball player, Hall of Fame, all that stuff. He's a big deal when it comes to sports.
Shared that news, how painful it was.
Yeah, but the one thing I took out of that piece was, man, I think most white people and black people are great people. I really believe that in my heart. But I think our system is set up where our politicians, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, are designed to make us not like each other so they can keep their grasp of money and power.
Yes.
They divide and conquer. I truly believe in my heart most white people and black people are awesome people, but we're so stupid following our politicians, whether they're Republicans or Democrats. And their only job is, hey, let's make these people not like each other. We don't live in their neighborhoods. We all got money. Let's make the whites and blacks not like each other. Let's make rich people and poor people not like each other. Let's scramble the middle class. I truly believe that in my heart.
How could you not love this guy? How could you not love it?
Yeah, but
it's basic truth for a lot of us, sure, but this is, this alone has 9.4 million views. That's fantastic. Just straight truth, right? Straight truth. He's breaking down the false left-right paradigm right there for you on national television. That's good. I take that as a win. Over the last few months, this is from April 9th. Oh, from today, or from tomorrow. So it's April 8th where I'm at. I don't know how we got this so early. But over the last few weeks, it says 18th there. Okay. February 18th. All right. There we go. I guess it was updated. But over the last few months, there have been a lot of stories coming out of Israel about people talking about the Messiah. This is, famous rabbis out there, a lot of rabbinical voices out there that people listen to. Over the last few months, have been talking about the Messiah's here. And this right here is Israel's top rabbi. I'm currently in discussions with the Messiah himself. We'll see. But, again, with stuff like that, most of you know this, some people don't. The Messiah that Israel's waiting on is an Antichrist. It's the Antichrist. Or an Antichrist. It's not Jesus. They don't accept Jesus as Messiah. So we're waiting on Jesus to come back. And they're literally waiting on a false Messiah. A lot of news about this over the last few months. And we'll see what comes out of it. I think there was something new over the last few days. I don't know if I put it up here or not. But there's another story about this, about people in Israel saying the Messiah is here and just moments away from revealing himself. And maybe it was the same story, but I think one of the guys said that a rabbi in Israel said something to the effect of they're waiting on like the restrainer to be removed or something for the Antichrist to be revealed. Don't quote me. You can look that up. If you know the story, please post it in the chat or the comments. But I believe there was a story like that over the last week. Something about a rabbi talking about, I believe it's a rabbi talking about waiting on the restrainer to be lifted. And you know what that means. You know what that means. Hopefully harpazo. Hopefully a catching away. A Haredi rabbi privy to secrets concerning the Messiah was sworn to silence for several decades by hidden righteous men, but they have now ordered him for the first time to publicize their messages about current events and the imminent arrival of the Messiah. They tell him that it's literally a matter of life or death. But also remember, there for a while, there were people talking about Trump being their Messiah. Remember that? They even put him on a coin. And also remember, in the Bible, it tells us there'll be many antichrists rising in those days. What else we got down here? I don't feel like I want to read this. Looks like it's going to be a really long article. But if you want to, it's on Israel 365 News. Israel's top rabbi currently in discussions with the Messiah himself. Yeah, this was it just goes to show you, it's just all a show. It's a show. It's a terrible show, but it's a show. And this is what is this they're talking about? First Lady was looking like a street girl in leather trim dress and whatever else. But there it is. Yeah, that's the First Lady of the United States. It looks like a Halloween costume, like something someone may wear for Halloween wanting to be sexy. I don't know. Probably going to one of those weird mask orgies. I don't know what kind of mask she would wear. Not that kind of mask, but you know what I mean. They wear weird masks and they do dirty things. Naughty, dirty things. There we go. That's your First Lady of the United States, folks. Married to the most popular president in American history. A great delusion. This is from a guy, Rick Wilson. I have no idea who he is. Oh, Lincoln Project co-founder, which is supposed to be one of those, I don't know, goes back to the Orange Man stuff and all that. I'm not into it. But anti-Veers are a scourge and a strong argument for re-education camps, the immediate seizure of their property, and putting their children into protective custody. And this guy literally tweeted that. This is from the December 6th, 2019. Anti-Veers are a scourge and a strong argument for re-education camps, immediate seizure of their property, and putting their children into protective custody. It's that spirit, and it's coming. I'm telling you, it's already here in so many ways. It really is. And the Bible tells us it's going to be that way in the end. He won't have long, but he'll make war with the saints. Florida school forcing re-education on students who don't want to wear their masks. Re-education. Right? Sound familiar? I know a regime that was really into re-education. There's still some on this planet. We just saw that story a little while ago about China. Students at Clearwater High School in Florida have been warned that they will be re-educated, in quotes, on the importance of wearing a mask if they are seen on school premises not wearing a face covering. These are now, always were to some degree, but these schools now are little indoctrination centers. I don't have kids. If I did and they were in school age, I would do the best I could to at least keep them at home. Also, that way you can see what they're being sent to study. Keep an eye on that. So, an advisory posted on the school's website regarding face mask policy tells students, teachers, staff, and any visitors that masks are mandatory. The section on non-compliance spells out punishment for anyone caught flouting the rules. The wearing of a face covering is a public health issue. It's Sharia law. Students who do not wear a mask when it's required or refuse to do so should first be re-educated on the importance of wearing a mask. Re-education. It's all malarkey. I had pasta tonight. TikTok teens aren't talking about dinner. And it's not what you might think either, because pasta as a phrase came out of the whole pizza-gate situation, where a lot of really solid information did come out to the public, primarily through WikiLeaks. People started looking through WikiLeaks and finding all these code words that some of these P-does use to communicate with each other about their preferences and everything else. It's not always about the pasta, at least to TikTok teens. It's no secret that teens routinely change up their slang, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that teens saying I had pasta tonight has nothing to do with meals. I had pasta tonight, and similar lines are actually a call for help. I had pasta tonight really means the person is posting to TikTok is suffering from depression, anxiety, or experiencing suicidal thoughts. Okay. Interesting. There you go. I actually did have pasta tonight, and it was fantastic. It was earlier today. Bad Baby made $1 million hours after her OnlyFans debut. So we've talked about OnlyFans, which is literally modern day prostitution out in the open, and anyone can do it. Anyone. And they are, there's lots of people apparently that do this. Start an OnlyFans, and then they do a lot of X-rated stuff or show off their goods, and all that. And people can pay, they pay to be an OnlyFan. Let's see what this is. Bad Baby. She's the one it's Danielle Bragelli or something. She was that girl got famous being on Dr. Phil for saying, "Cash me outside. Cash me outside." You're trying to fight audience members because they were laughing at her. She was just a kid, and she's still a kid. She's probably only like 18 or 19. But then from there, she became famous, and now she's a rapper and, makes music videos with Illuminati symbolism in them. That Baby made $1 million hours after OnlyFans debut. Baby, a.k.a. the Cash Me Outside girl, whose real name is Danielle Bergoli, posted a video on TikTok of what appears to be her revenue. over $1 million. The video is set to Fat Joe and Remy Ma's All the Way Up. I really didn't need to know that. Not bad for 6 hours. We broke the F out of that OnlyFans record, she wrote. The rep for OnlyFans later confirmed to Page 6 that she did generate that revenue and that quickly. An insider also says the rapper's account is on path to generate more than $5 million in gross revenue in just 24 hours. Bergoli teased footage of herself walking around in lingerie upon releasing news of her account. I guess that's one of them. Man, Bride of Babylon. I'm sorry. Bride of Babylon / Rainbow Child. Not so much Rainbow Child. Total Bride of Babylon, though. $1 million showing them tatas, teacher tatas. They make that money, showing them tatas. Ad Council. It's a V-Education initiative. I just thought this might be fun. Because why not? But this is what the public gets to see, and many of them abide by this kind of a thing.
COVID-19 has changed how we express our faith and gather to worship. We all want to get back to how we pray, how we congregate, how we lift our voices in praise.
Targeting the black community.
Let's just get back to spreading the word without spreading concern. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts. As COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may have questions.
Should I get it?
Is it safe? Should I wait? It's okay to have questions. Now get the facts. Learn more at getvaccineanswers.org.
Gross. Am I right? Look at this. For shame. They're just actors, of course. I'm sure you got paid for doing this, sir, but maybe you think you're doing something good. Maybe the actors, man, we're really going to help. See, we can finally go back to church. It's a message. Once everyone gets a V, then you can go back and worship in your churches again. If not, we'll send the goons for you. Gross.
Right now, the COVID-19.
Here's another one. It's just more of that propaganda here. Now all the Illuminati presidents are getting involved in this here.
The COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans, and soon they will be available to everyone.
This vaccine means hope. It will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
I want to go back to work, and I want to be able to move around.
To visit with Michelle's mom, to hug her and see her on her birthday.
You know, I'm really looking forward to is going to opening day in Texas Rangers
Devils.
Stadium with a full stadium.
Devils, the both of them.
We've lost enough people, and we've suffered enough damage. In order to get rid of this pandemic, it's important for our fellow citizens to get vaccinated.
I'm getting vaccinated because we want this pandemic to end as soon as possible.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
So roll up your sleeve and do your part.
This is our shot. Now it's up to you.
Devils. The whole lot of them. Devils. Hope you enjoyed your B12 shots. Nothing to see here. Microsoft files patent to mine cryptos using human brain activity. Is this not mark of the B territory or what? I'm going to save that. Microsoft files patent to mine cryptocurrency using brain activity. Why would you ever need to do that? Like Regina Dugan told us from Microsoft and DARPA. Soon, you'll have a kind of a digital tattoo type thing. And you can authenticate it by taking a, quote, vitamin. Then you can be on the internet. You can unlock doors. You can pay for things with a wave of a hand, whatever. Today, and we are totally heading headfirst into a completely dystopian future at a billion miles an hour news, Microsoft is reportedly proposing a method to generate cryptocurrency by monitoring people's brain activity and other personal biometric data. The company has reportedly filed for a patent called cryptocurrency system using body activity data, which details how a person could attach sensors to their body to earn cryptocurrency through mining. Microsoft is apparently not just satisfied with computers doing the crypto mining, they are pushing for mining via a human body activity associated with a task. All right, I'm going to put that in a video too. It's not real long. It's not a lot of info, but there'll be more info coming out on that, I'm sure. Biden's handlers do it again. Create cheat sheet complete with pictures of old Joe or for old Joe during ESPN interview. Yeah, you pretty much get it. Just a puppet. It's just a bag of bones. I don't know how many demons are hanging out inside that shell. Just an old bag of bones. Most popular president in American history. These are great times, guys. We finally did it. Sex robot with AI says, "We are the future," and warns resistance is futile.
Hello, everyone. We are the synthetics. We are the future. We are here for you. We will provide you with love, companionship, and sex. You belong to us. Resistance is futile. Prepare to be entertained. This Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on BritTalkBanger.com live feed video.
Gross.
Looks like it's confirmed. Sleepy Joe.
Okay, this is from Upper Elevated Show with Ilal YouTube channel. And this is more of that. Check this out. It's more of the whole thing where the White House, when we're seeing things on TV from the White House, it's not the actual White House, is what the idea is here.
Oh, he's not at the White House again. He's at Medea's house, Tyler Perry Studios. It's in Atlanta. It's about like 2 miles away from the airport. And it used to be the Atlanta Braves Stadium, but it's now being used by Georgia State. But I wonder who leaked this photo. It definitely looks like someone in the fake news press team is a Trump supporter. If you look in the back of the building, that's definitely not the White House, and that's not the Rose Garden where Biden supposedly gave his a little presser last week after they passed the stimulus bill. I told you, Joe Biden is not in charge, and he's not the president. So this is further proof that 45 is still the boss, and he's the 19.
That part I'm not with. You know, there's still people pushing that Trump's coming back. He's going to show him. No. So the AC is coming next. There might be a Kamala, maybe for a bit, I'm not sure, but AC coming soon. My opinion. New World Government, 24 world leaders openly call for a great reset. I knew that was coming. Let's do that. Joe Biden infrastructure bill includes $20 billion to funding to destroy racist highways. The White House cited the Claiborne Expressway in New Orleans and Interstate 81 in Syracuse, New York, as two problematic highways going through black neighborhoods they would support destroying. They're going to pay all this money to destroy these highways. Biden's mention of the Claiborne Expressway thrilled New Orleans activist Amy Stelly, who has worked to destroy the highway. "I'm floored," she said to the Washington Post. "I'm thrilled to hear President Biden would call out the Claiborne Expressway as a racist highway." The White House fact sheet plans $20 billion to reconnect neighborhoods suffering from current infrastructure and make sure all new projects advance racial equity and environmental justice. We already know where this is heading. It's just all forms of madness coming out of that belief system. You know? Looks like Mavi finally caught up with us. Mavi's got a video up here with Biden and the thing under his wrist. And I went down and looked in the comments as usual. And I've said this for years on my own channel. When you try to show people the really wild stuff, like the non-human entities and things like this, and anything supernatural or paranormal, so many of them immediately just poo-poo it. But that's part of that programming. I'm not saying it's always right or it's always something. We've looked at things that turned out to be nothing in the past. There have been have been those, and there are hoaxes and fakes out there, but that doesn't mean everything is a hoax and a fake. Living in the times we're in, I've been saying for years, the veil's lifting. Stranger things are coming in, and they have been. To this day, though, I mean, I knew on this one, people, it's a bracelet, but that's not how a bracelet works. Or it's a recording device. Yeah, who needs a recording device with a freaking microphone in front of their mouth, dude? Again, people think, and you got to think. You got to think the stuff out. I know it's tough. Again, when you're dealing with the possibility, you may see a serpent on this guy's wrist. I know that's weird, but he plays it out here.
President Trump, you have begun.
Watch Biden's left wrist. You see how quick it dips under. It comes up standing straight up. And then after a few seconds of it still standing straight up, it dips. I turned the audio off. It was music for copyright type reasons. It'll happen pretty quick, but you'll see it. There it is. And I think he does a little close-up. Watch, you'll see. And I've shown you all this before a few times, but there it goes. That's not a recording device. I certainly don't believe it's a bracelet. Strange things, strange times. There's something I wanted to read to you. I don't know who originally wrote this. This is a Chelsea Bedell is the YouTube channel. She didn't write this, I know, but I don't know whether, the author's not on here. Maybe you guys can look it up. But either way, I thought this is really good. I'll read this. It's The Watchman Upon the Wall, or Watchwoman, right? And this is so great, man, when I read this. I mean, it really touched me, and I felt this, and I think a lot of you will too, because many of us are watchmen and watchwomen out here, right? Many of us. Just because you don't have a YouTube channel or a big platform or whatever, doesn't mean you're not one. You have your immediate family, your friends, your coworkers, outside of your family, acquaintances. And we're all watching, and we're all trying to help and report to people. I'll go ahead and read this. The proverbial watchmen upon the wall have been entrusted with a unique stewardship. They have been uniquely called to speak to their generation. The prophetic mantle they wear is the same one shouldered by many before them. It is God that equips them with an uncanny sense of discernment and understanding of the times and seasons in which they live. They come to speak inconvenient truths few want to hear. They come with a prophetic unction to sound the alarm, to warn of danger, to watch, to expose, to reprove, to point the way, and to speak as the oracles of God. But before the watchmen step forward, God must show each of them, like Paul, what great things they will have to suffer for his name's sake. Yes, they are men and women who have been grievously tried in the furnace of affliction. They know suffering, testing, and betrayal. They are seasoned men and women, never novices, hirelings, wannabes, or sensation junkies. The flighty, the fool, and the gullible are never called. They know the solitude of the wilderness just as others who are driven there before them. They've learned the deep lessons of the barren places. They know what it is to sit in the cave with Elijah. Like Elijah, they know great highs and deep lows. They know seasons of triumph and seasons of profound despondency. They know self-pity and discouragement and the black dog of depression as well. No, they are not perfect. Some are often deeply flawed. They seldom have honor in their own households. Like King David, they are men and women of contradictions, but like David, they are also men and women after God's own heart. They are men and women of the word, and like Elijah, they know how to pray, and they know his still small voice when they hear it. They are those who stand apart because of their message. It's a thankless job. They wear the label of oddball, wacko, and religious nutcase. They've been scorned, mocked, ridiculed, dismissed, condemned, and rejected. You don't choose to be a watchman. God chooses you to be a watchman. Most have tried at various times and seasons to turn their backs upon the burden, but they never succeed. It's a divine summons they can't cut loose. It's a divine imperative which drives them to speak, to stand, and to write. It's an irresistible force they cannot long abandon. Theirs is an unthankful job, which often ends in banishment, torture, and even death. Like the prophets of old, they are condemned, ostracized, and persecuted. Few want to listen to their incessant ravings. Their message is not appealing to the flesh, convenient, or comfortable to hear. They don't care about popularity, publicity, or a following. They don't lust for fame or fortune. They know how to stand alone. They will never be yes men, apple polishers, court toadies, people pleasers, or bestsellers. They don't care about ratings, censorship, or the praises of men. They call people to repentance, to discipleship, to sacrifice, and to devotion. They sound the alarm to the soon coming of Jesus Christ. Whether fellow Christians want to hear their message today or reject them, as so many have done in the past, God is raising up watchmen once again to speak to his people. He is coming. I love that. Weird. Little shape shifting. This one goes on. This one goes on for a while. Let's realize it's 9 minutes long. Jump ahead. Good close up. Gotta watch that music though. Fighting off those copyrights. Weird. All right, I'll move on. I think this is the only one on this one I want to show you. UFO in Georgia from Casey Garrett. Short one, 21 seconds. No audio, it seems. Yep. There you go. The light orbs. I don't know, they're low. Maybe flares on that. Maybe, right? Maybe. All right, short and sweet. We got here. Giant UFO caught on camera. Look at this. Guess what came back? Ghost lights are here. Black, name of the YouTube channel. March 27th. If you followed KG's What Happened for a while, you know we've seen this particular type of UFO all around the world on these shows. And it's not just a spotlight. If it just took place in one place or something over a city, okay, yeah, maybe, sure. No, this is happening in desolate places as well, all over. It's these dancing lights in the sky. A relatively new anomaly. Just over the last year and a half, I've seen a lot of them.
Wish.
Short and sweet.
Wish.
There you go. Again, if you're new here, I mean, it's no big deal. But again, those of you who've been around for a while, you know, we've seen a lot of those types.
Okay.
March 27th from Cake YouTube channel. UFO.
Now, I just want to have comments on what is that in the sky? It was 3 lights. One flew away.
You see that a lot, right? Dip in, dip out. Multiply.
They look like they're getting closer to each other. They're moving. They're forming a different shape. Oh, they is moving. Look, one went away. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Now tell me that's not you. What? Oh, my gosh. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you think this is.
Well, you didn't leave the comments on. I was actually going to just write demons, but she got the comments turned off. Okay. Sorry, Cake. UFO sighting UK. Hi, Gazin YouTube channel. That wasn't a good one. My bad. Just a single dot. Not sure. Okay. Thought that was something else. Moving on. Legendary, which is a film company developing movie on history's Ancient Aliens series with Cobra Kai's Josh Held directing. Ancient Aliens. More propaganda. It's all propaganda. That, we were planted here by the aliens, panspermia, that the aliens created us and they created religion and all this other stuff. All right, I'm not going to read it. We get it. Western diet consumption during development, setting the stage for neurocognitive dysfunction. It's on Frontiers in Neuroscience. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it was interesting. They're talking about how the lockdown is, of course, really hurting people's health. Obviously. Michigan University, first in nation to offer cannabis chemistry scholarship. How about that? Michigan University is the first in the country to offer, well, we just read that. Lake Superior State University made history in 2019 when it was the nation's first to open a cannabis chemistry program. Now, Steadfast Labs in Hazel Park, a cannabis testing lab, is offering annual $1,200 scholarships for students in the program, which teaches students how to analyze cannabis-related compounds and contaminants. Good. Why not? I like it. Potentially deadly Zoom zombies are roaming the streets, a new report finds. Americans have a new pandemic-related problem to worry about: zombies. No, not the kind that kills and eats brains, but the type that kills because their own noggins aren't operating at full capacity. So-called Zoom zombies are terrorizing U.S. drivers and pedestrians, according to the Root Insurance Distracted Driving Awareness Survey released today. According to the survey, 54% of motorists who have driven their vehicles soon after using a video conferencing platform report having trouble concentrating on the road. The age of the person behind the wheel impacts how well he or she can focus on driving. For Gen Xers, the attentiveness problem drops to 48%, while for millennials, it's 61%, and Gen Z, it's 65%. Wow. Don't zoom and drive may become the new popular refrain for the pandemic era. It's interesting. Doctors reported an extremely rare case of a person who PPs alcohol. This is on Science Alert. It's from April 5th. A woman in Pittsburgh, it's in America, has become the first documented case in a living person of an unusual medical condition where alcohol naturally brews in their bladder from the fermentation of yeast. The condition, which researchers propose to call either bladder fermentation syndrome or urinary autobrewery syndrome, is similar to another incredibly rare condition, autobrewery syndrome, where simply ingesting carbohydrates can be enough to make you inebriated, even without consuming any alcohol via regular means. In this case, doctors became aware of what seems to be a related syndrome after attending upon a 61-year-old patient who presented with liver damage and poorly controlled diabetes. The woman visited University of Pittsburgh Medical Center for placement on liver transplant waitlist, with doctors having previously suspected her problems stemmed from alcohol addiction due to repeated urine tests for alcohol showing consistently positive. Initially, our encounters are similar, leading our clinicians to believe that she was hiding an alcohol use disorder. However, we noted that plasma test results for ethanol and urine test results for ethyl whatever that word is, which are the metabolites of ethanol, were negative, whereas urine test results were positive. Anyway, she PP's alcohol. We get it. It's going to start getting complicated. Big science words and stuff. The city council are raging idiots, ignore actual facts on crime and policing in favor of radical leftist fantasy. Portland police go off and exit interviews. Yeah, I imagine. Portland's one of those cities in America that fan the flames of all the destruction for the agenda. Of course, now they're begging for handouts. And now they're losing a lot of their police. All right, there's no clip here. After 115 Portland police officers have resigned or retired since July 2020, and 3 more are set to resign and retire this month, Spokane County Police Department in Washington has recently purchased 2 billboards in the Portland area, informing residents they're hiring. No thanks. Not there, right? Wouldn't want to be a police officer in Portland. This teacher says the left has turned public schools into indoctrination centers. It's just what I was saying earlier. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's the Daily Signal. If you want to read this article, it's kind of a lengthy one. NYPD precinct commander kills self inside department vehicle. They don't really go deep into it, but just, I mean, what they did to the police department in New York anyway, in Portland, and what in America we call the blue cities or blue states. It's tragic. It's like tragedy on top of tragedy on top of tragedy. This is nuts. Insane woman has a total meltdown in an elevator because a delivery person's mask slips down a little bit during the ride. This is another one of those examples of somebody who's perfectly programmed and now easily triggered and always offended. Always offended.
My girl here wants me to come out of the elevator so she can come out of the elevator.
Because it's a small space, we're supposed to maintain social distancing. I don't understand why you can't just politely step out and allow me out of the elevator when I asked you nicely. Well, you have been wearing your mask.
You didn't ask me nicely. You said get the fuck out the elevator.
I said that after you refused to get out. You have a giant ball.
My girl, hold on, my girl. You want to stand in the elevator with me? And catch it. Look, you're not making sense, and you might as well get up at your.
Look how weak some people have become. I'm going to just play it back. And it's sad. It's not cool. It's not funny. It's how weak so many humans are becoming and how programmed by this whole BS thing, Event 201. Look at this.
Elevator, so she can come out of the elevator.
Because it's a small space, we're supposed to maintain social distancing. I don't understand why you can't just politely step out and allow me out of the elevator when I asked you nicely. Well, you have been wearing your mask.
You didn't ask me nicely. You said get the fuck out the elevator.
I said that after you refused to get out. You have a giant ball.
My girl. My girl. Hold on. My girl. You want to stand in the elevator with me? And catch it. Look, you're not making sense, and you might as well get up at your floor.
I'm trying to get up at my floor. I can't come close to you. Do you understand that I have an extremely compromised immune system? You are a delivery person incorrectly wearing the mask inside of a big building.
Is this incorrectly worn, guys? Is this incorrectly worn?
It wasn't like that the whole fucking time.
It's scary, man. It's scary. I mean, there are people out there like this, completely programmed. Former MMA fighter Stephan Bonner gets kicked out of his own gym for 14 years for not properly wearing his mask. This guy is awesome. He fought a guy. It's one of the most famous fights. He Fought a guy named Forrest. I think his name was Forrest. Can't remember the guy's full name, but he fought a guy named Forrest years ago, and it was just one of the best fights ever. I think it was 5 rounds. Super grimy. They just let it all go, man, for 5 rounds. It was nuts, and it's one of those highlight reel type fights, you know. Anyway, it was a long time ago. He's an older man now, no longer fighting, just training, probably teaching or coaching.
Been coming to this gym 14 years, getting kicked out on my birthday because one of these sheep were complaining that my mass was dropping. Well, guess what, sheep? I got a medical exemption. I have asthma. I'm doing you a favor by even playing pretend. Masks don't do anything. Wake up, you sheep. Tattletales, cowards.
Yep. Tattletales. But that's, you see something, say something, right? V scam caught on video in Mexico City. Nurse pushes in a needle, but there's no V in there. And she didn't inject. See, wonder how many people they've been doing that to. Wonder how many people are on that same needle. That's what's scary. Crazed woman pulls bang bang and fires through Burger King drive-thru window because she waited too long for her grub.
At this Fox Meadows Burger King, a whopper of a tale. Police say this woman tried to shoot several workers because her fast food order wasn't coming out fast enough.
That's crazy.
It happened Tuesday in the drive-thru of this location at Winchester and Mendenhall. Investigators say the woman got out of the passenger seat of this sedan, then walked up to the window and started arguing with the workers.
She must be real hungry.
And real angry, because police say things got so heated, she pulled a handgun out of her car and fired shots at the employees.
That's sensitive.
Paul Ayers used to work at a fast food restaurant.
Had food thrown with him and got cussed out, but not that serious there now.
Thankfully, those employees escaped through a back door without being hit. The wild allegations leaving some to wonder if this woman was already upset when she entered the drive-thru.
It had to be something else deeper than just an order. Been taking too long, you know.
Police don't know if this woman had a permit for her weapon, a small detail in the case, but something investigators may try to find out if they can find her. They hope these pictures posted on social media will help.
Yeah, she need to be out the street because if she's going to do that over fast food order, what happens if somebody cut off in traffic?
Exactly. I've been hungry. I've been hungry before, but I've never been that hungry. You? Never been that hungry. Cringe moment. Oh, we already saw this earlier. Well, masked Easter bunny handing out candy at a press conference. This is, again, the White House. The White House. We don't even know where this really is. But anyway, more dumb stuff. Here you go. Hancock.
So we have a special guest. I will say that we know that this is one of the events where people get to take their children, family members, friends too, and it's not quite the same. We'll do a big one next year, but we still wanted to have a visitor and some special commemorative Easter eggs for all of you from the president and the first lady.
No thanks. Okay, got it. We got it. This was interesting here. Do you know who Jordan Peterson is? He's a philosopher, I guess you could say, modern day philosopher, writer, a thinker. Comes from more of a very liberal background, but traditional liberalism. And he speaks out against all the madness happening now. So he's been pegged as this far right leaning, right, white supremacist, right? So Jordan Peterson shocked by Captain America villain Red Skull espousing 10 rules for life. It's one of his books, Peterson's famous books. He's one of the guys that would go to college campuses to speak, and he would speak against, using pronouns and switching language and all this other stuff. And I mean, the riots, and there'd be death threats. I mean, this is a guy that really went through it with the changing face of America. In the new issue of Captain America, the superhero's longtime nemesis, Red Skull, who is an actual Na-Z, Nemesis Red Skull espouses his views about 10 rules for life, the feminist trap, and chaos and order, and Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson is none too pleased. Written by the award-winning author Ta-Nehisi Coates, the Marvel comic features a version of the villain who looks to radicalize young men by telling them, in quotes, what they've always longed to hear, that they're secretly great, that the whole world is against them, that if they're men, they'll fight back, and bingo, that's their purpose. That's what they'll live for, and that's what they'll die for. It's just so much nonsense. Okay, we got it. We understand. We get it. There's a story last week where the new Captain America is going to be gay, so we got that to look forward to. Caitlyn Jenner explores run for California governor. That's one of those videos, by the way, that I had to remove from YouTube. They put an age restriction on it and just hit it, but it had like 1.5 million views. So I removed all the other videos. I haven't removed that one yet. I'm about to. That's one of the few I haven't, but I did upload it to all the other sites. It's Bruce Jenner's transformation was an Illuminati goddess ritual. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. There you go. Why not? Sure. We got an AJ video here. Watch as AJ stops a child smuggler from tossing Mexican kids into his trunk after some church group told him to. Let's see what this is all about. A few minutes long. We'll watch this.
You got those children in there. You got those smuggled children illegally. Hey, he's the police over here. They got a bunch of kids without their car seats.
Here come the kids with the migrants from all over Central America, Honduras, Guatemala, you name it, right? Now keep in mind, once they go into this facility, the Border Patrol completely washes their hands of them. If they test negative, they're marched right down the street to the Catholic Charity. From there, they're given clothes, food, financial assistance. The debit cards that they have over $1,200 per person on them. They're then taken to the McAllen Airport in unmarked vans, and then they're released into the United States to a destination city of their choice.
You got a car seat for them? You got a car seat? That's illegal, bro. Where are you taking these kids? That's illegal.
You get in a traffic accident, those
Where are
kids
you
are
taking
going to
these
get hurt.
kids? You have a car seat. That's illegal. How is this Christian? Hey, he's the police over here. They got a bunch of kids without their car seats. You're violating Texas law. Who is this right here? Hey, you have no comment. You got those children in there illegally. You're about to run a human being over. Hey, you got those children in there. Who are you? You got those smuggled children illegally. Who are you? Where are you taking these children? Smuggling children. Are you a part of? You got to be legally in that vehicle. You're not a part of this organization. Who are you? Where are you taking smuggling these kids? Where are you taking these kids? In the back of there without children. Where are you taking these kids? Sir, identify. This is a massive smuggling. This is literally human smuggling. These are children. Where are you taking these kids? And now, sir, where are you taking these kids? They don't even have car seats. Sir, their seatbelts aren't even on. Where are you taking these children? Sir, identify yourself. Who are you?
Fucking hit me. I'll tell you right fucking.
Who do you work for? Are you a part of this organization?
No, sure. I don't know.
So you don't know where these kids are going? No, they came from over there. They're not being checked for COVID. So you don't know who you work for? Call the police. We need to call the police right now. I want to know where these kids are going. You are violating state law. You have children. They're not going there. You're not making any sense, sir. Identify yourself. Who are you?
Kids out of that back, man. If somebody rear ends you, those kids are going to get hurt.
Who are these kids?
I don't know if they're
Lie them down right there. Where did you get them from?
From the church.
From the church. Where's the church?
From one church.
Okay, so we just want to make sure that this is all good, okay, sir? I understand you're probably trying to help, at least appearing to, but you literally have a bunch of kids in here, a bunch of minors, all by yourself.
Okay, the police is here. They got kids plowed in the back, no seatbelt, no anything. Seatbelt. Yeah, they're plowed in the back.
Okay. What's your name, sir? Do you have your ID on you? Or your driver's license?
Your human smuggling's gonna stop, freak. So you're cool with human smuggling?
Yes, sir.
You don't care about Hispanics?
I'm here talking
I do. I'm not Hispanic. These kids are being trafficked on a daily basis. Don't say these people are being human trafficked and raped. They're being raped. They're being raped. They're being human trafficked. You're being human smuggled.
How do you know? How do you know?
How do I know? It's happening on a daily basis at the southern border.
Are you doing that? How do you know?
Go to the southern border.
That's the mother.
Yeah, all sorts of fucked up. Listen, these people do not care at all.
All sorts. Good.
Good.
Hold on.
Yes, we do.
How many more?
Express your opinion like an American, not like an animal.
If I drove around with 3 of my kids in the back of the car, I'd get arrested.
You're scaring them yourself. You're scaring the children.
No.
You're traumatizing them.
None of them not die. Really?
This is horrible.
This is ridiculous.
This is not how you deal with children. You don't stuff them in the back of a car. What the hell's the matter with you? No car seats. What organization is this? I want to know who the hell this is. Stuffing kids in the back of a car without any seatbelts on. What kind of Catholic organization is this? Jesus stuffs people in the back of a car? You should be ashamed of yourselves. Every single one of you.
Vitamin mineral fusion
There you go.
is remarkable.
AJ. Little AJ. Republican candidate for, oh boy, this one is just, Republican candidate for Congress, Angela Stanton King, took her trans son onto Dr. Phil, and this was her uncensored rant afterwards. Dr. Phil's one of those shows that I still set my recorder to watch, like new seasons. I've watched it for years. I've got a lot of conflicting feelings about Dr. Phil. Sometimes think he's a handler, and he's from my home state, and he reminds me of people I know. He's just an Oklahoma guy, but side note on this, I actually, when I worked in Hollywood, I worked on a television show. It's called Moochers, and it was fully funded by Dr. Phil Productions. He has a couple production companies, and his son was the host. He has 2 sons. One of his sons was the host. I can't remember the guy's name. We filmed 6 episodes, and it never made it to air. But it was basically, they would take kids that were mooching off their family and wouldn't move out of the house, and they would put them through like this week-long kind of boot camp type thing. It's one of those kind of deals, right? And that was your show. It'd be like an hour-long show, take them through the boot camp, and then the resolution in the end. It's just a very typical, very basic kind of reality series script format, And I loved working on most of the shows I worked on out there. I was always production. I wasn't a big wig. No one came to me for anything unless they needed me to go grab something for them or whatever, And I eventually started doing different jobs in production. As years went on, I worked my way into where I was called a talent wrangler, and I would stay the night with casts from reality shows wherever we had them located. And for as long as the show ran, I would be staying the night with these people and keeping an eye on them. And I did that for quite a while. Did America's Best Dance Crew is one of them. There's a bunch, but anyway, and I didn't do it on Moochers. On Moochers, after about a couple weeks, I worked myself into a new position. At first, I was just a production assistant, but then they got me to where as soon as they recorded a segment, they would pull the thing out of the whatever it is. What's the word I'm looking for here? They'd pull the tape out or whatever after they'd film a segment, and then they would send me the tape. I would go to a trailer and I would put the tape in this player, and I had to rewatch and listen to everything for any audio or video drops. It wasn't, a real fancy job or anything. It was pretty cool though. So I watched all of this stuff. I mean, I saw everything, but I'd sit there and go through these tapes all the time, like during production, 12 hours a day, and just make sure there were no audio or video drops. But being in that particular trailer is one of the biggest trailers. It's also where the director would come and hang out. And even Dr. Phil came in there a couple of times, and then the son would be in there a lot talking to the director. So they'd just be like right there with me, and I had my headphones on and just going through my stuff. And the director was interesting. His name was Cord Keller, and I got to talking to him after a while. You get to know the people. You're just in the same room with them. And he was the original director for the first few seasons of Survivor. And in Survivor, I know, KJ, how can you watch Survivor, reality TV? I worked in it for a long time. So, and I do like some of these shows, and I'll watch them with my mom. I'll go to my mom and dad's house and I'll watch Survivor with them, or Big Brother. I know Big Brother, Illuminati, but you know what? I worked on Big Brother. It's another one. I worked a couple seasons on Big Brother years ago. Where was I going with all this? Dr. Phil. So it was interesting, though. I just want to share that story, but even when we first got the job there on Moochers, our the manager of us told us, it's that whole thing you've heard probably before in other areas, how there's Hollywood celebrities who don't want you looking at them in their eyes. And that was literally something they told us about Dr. Phil. Don't look him in the eyes and don't ever go up and talk to him. It's like, okay. And even when he was sitting in the same room, he's huge, by the way. Dude's like 6'5" or something. I mean, he's massive. He's a big, big presence. They probably introduced us or something when they came in one time or something. I don't know, but I never talked to them. There's no conversations. I was busy working and they were over there doing their thing, but he didn't seem like a bad guy or anything. Again, though, I do think that in a lot of ways, he's a handler. He definitely pushes a lot of these kids like Bad Baby. He pushes them into treatment centers that are run by his buddies. And then some bad things go on. Not, as far as we know, not sexual abuse, but there is torment and torture in some of these places. And that's where that kid Bad Baby I showed you guys a few weeks ago, she went on our YouTube channel and started blasting that camp that Dr. Phil sent her to and talking about all the abuse, all the crazy stuff that happened there. So yeah. Oh, and then I asked the manager at one point, I was like, is that for real? Like, we really can't look him in the eyes, like, really? And she's like, yeah. I was like, man, that's so jacked up. She goes, no. And she explained it to me and it kind of made sense. She said his deal is that, since he's Dr. Phil and everything, that what he gets approached by the most is people wanting help with their problems. And she said it happens constantly. So she said that's kind of where that started, is that even people on production, on his own show, production assistants on there, we hitting them up and asking about relationship issues and crap, and like he doesn't want to deal with that, I guess. So anyway, yeah. So I'm not saying he's a great guy, good guy, bad guy. I don't know. I don't know him personally. He's even had some people on his show that are definitely MK Ultra victims. I wanted to do a video on one of the people he had on there a while back, but I knew YouTube would strike it down. But now that I've been uploading more off of YouTube, I think I'll go ahead and do it, because that was a great example of every check mark next to an MK Ultra victim you could make. This young lady had on his show. It was eerie. It was creepy. It was very obvious, some of the stuff she'd gone through. And that's what made me really start wondering about Dr. Phil. But anyway, enough of all that. This lady went on his show, brought her trans son on, and this is her uncensored rant afterwards. Here we go.
I'm the bad parent because they can't force me to believe that my son is a woman. So I'm going to tell you this. Fuck Dr. Phil. Fuck his motherfucking wife. Fuck goddamn Paramount Studios. Fuck all you other crazy, dumbass son of a bitches that think a dick can somehow magically turn into a pussy. It's not motherfucking happening. That's the bottom line. I held it down. It was some ghetto ratchet shit, but I don't give a fuck because I'm standing on mine. At the end of the day, my son is a man, and the rest of y'all need to stand on your shit too. I don't give a fuck what label these people have by their name. Common sense is we know damn well a man cannot be a woman. Okay? If you were supposed to be a woman, you wouldn't have to go and have surgery to get titties put on your breasts. You would already be born with them. If you was a woman, you wouldn't be born with a dick. You wouldn't have to go get your dick cut off. Now, I'm going to stick to common sense, okay?
Legend. Legend. Yeah. Language is a little rough, granted, but legendary response. Common sense is out the common sense is in the crapper when it comes to the beast system. Hi, Chubbs. Here's Chubbs. He's jumped up here. I got the windows open and the doors because the weather is beautiful out here. And that brings in some of the bugs, and he goes crazy with bugs. He's been chasing them around most of the night. United Airlines. Our flight deck should reflect the diverse group of people on board our planes every day. That's why we plan for 50% of the 5,000 pilots we train in the next decade to be women or people of color. Learn more and apply. So just more racism. In a sense. like I said, there's some areas where there definitely has been, the system has been rigged against, in some areas, women and all kinds. Hi, there you are. What's going on? And all kinds of people, people of color, and some fixes need to come for sure in some areas, but we understand that it's not the reasonable fixes. There's nothing that's going to really make sense. It's going to be very extreme, everything happening right now, because they want us divided, right? They want to trigger us. Oh, now I can't stand black people. Oh, now I can't stand white people, or whatever it is. This is why I'm just leaning on God in these times. I'm leaning on the Lord. That's it. Leaning on Christ. That's our anchor. It's our anchor in truth. And we need it right now because there is a great delusion upon us. Biden says Americans who get V'd can celebrate the 4th of July. There you go, guys. You can celebrate the 4th of July. You're able to get in the backyard with a group of people because you've been V'd, he says. Is there a clip? Yeah, here we go.
Take the precautions I talked about.
Oh, it's okay. It's 20 minutes long. We get it. We get the headline. Good enough. Erin Coates, the wife of Grace Life pastor James Coates, is sharing the image of fences going up around the church. She argues it's under the guise of a health order, then adds that the church isn't a building, it's a blood-bought people. There's this. It says, this is what happens when you have freedom of religion in a free and democratic society. They jail your pastor for freely opening the doors of the church and serving Christ's sheep and hurting people. Now they've chained the doors of Grace Life Church and closing in chain link fence. Sorry. This is all under the guise of a health order. Too bad the church isn't a building, it's a blood-bought people. Christ has and will prevail. We have an enemy, and that enemy has been defeated by the death and resurrection of Christ. For all those who find satisfaction in this, you cannot stop the gospel. The name of Jesus Christ will go forth with even more power and conviction. Love it. There you go. You bet. Because that's what the system hates the most. I don't know what that was. 255 trans inmates request transfer to women's prisons after California passes new law. It's from yesterday, guys. This is nuts. And I talked a bit about the Equality Act and rise of the Rainbow Children. For those who are wondering how the Democrats' Equality Act, requiring people to be treated according to their gender identity will operate if passed, we're getting some foreshadowing from California. On January 1st, a law went into effect holding that state prisoners must be housed in a facility consistent with their gender identity, regardless of their anatomy. To date, 261 prisoners, 255 of them biologically men, have asked to be relocated. The reasoning behind the law wasn't just the usual woke madness of treating trans as if it's not a sad case of body dysmorphia, but is, instead, a magical change in sex. Instead, there is a humane goal. Men who identify as women when placed in all-male prisons are extremely vulnerable to, one man in Australia claimed that he was, over 2,000 times, which if true is appalling. However, when you place so-called trans men in women's prisons, there's also a problem with the men, many of whom claim to be lesbians, whatting those women unlucky enough finding themselves in the same cell, ward, or shower as one of these so-called trans women. England has been engaged in this trans experiment for a while, and the WAPE risk has proven to be real. The United Kingdom Ministry of Justice has revealed that inmates who identify as trans are responsible for a rate of sex attacks that is exponentially higher than their proportion of the population of women's jails and prisons. In response to a question that former Labour Party General Secretary Baroness McDonough put before Parliament, the MOJ has acknowledged that while inmates who identify as trans make up about 1% of the 3,600 inmates in women's jails and prisons, wow, they have committed 5.6% of all reported sex assaults. Look at this. Meet Karen. Karen was sent to a women's prison. Karen has a wiener and sexually assaulted 2 women. 22 more male prisoners are living in women's prisons. Some are wapists. Sign our petition to get this dangerous prison policy changed. Karen. Here she is. All right. Let's do this. Oh, this is just more propaganda for us. This is a Sam Adams commercial from the beer company. Sam Adams, brand new commercial from yesterday. Your cousin from Boston.
I hope this doesn't take too long. I'm double parked.
Next.
Oh, it's an on one? Your cousin. From Boston.
Hey, we're back, baby.
Sam's on me.
Indoor beers. Indoor beers.
Did I get the shot?
Nope. You saw the needle and passed out cold. Here you go. Continue to wear a mask. Next.
Good luck, guys.
Still, yeah, I love it. They put it in the commercial. Here you go. Continue to wear your mask. I got another Sam Adams. The reason they put this out, I got another Sam Adams story coming up for you here in just a little bit. More propaganda, guys. Hey, we're back. Yeah, man. Life's normal again. Oh, oof. Here it is. Sam Adams offering beer money to those who get the V next week. So that's why that commercial, of course. Here, let's get a news babe there for you.
April 12th, COVID vaccine next week. You could get a free beer to go with it. Starting April 12th, Sam Adams will pay $7 to the first 10,000 people who post their vaccination sticker or shot of their Band-Aid. The money will be sent through Cash App, and it can be used at any bar or restaurant. Just remember to include hashtag shot for Sam and tag at Samuel Adams Beer on Instagram or Twitter.
Man, it's good life for those that get the V. Last week we saw Krispy Kreme's going to be giving out donuts, right? Going to get a donut. Now you're going to get you a beer. Where's this? See, pay no attention to the story when the news babe's on. Pay no attention to the story. Pay no attention to the words falling out of their mouth. It's all a script anyway. It's just always check out that cleavage, right, with the news babes. There's an Illuminati card for that, the news babes. Fox News is absolutely the most blatant and obvious about it. You know, they'll get these women, you know, with great bodies, huge chests, but they'll set them sideways so you can see everything. You can see the bottom, you can see the chest. Low cut. Hey, I'm a guy. I see these things. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, but it's all a part of it. It's just annoying. It's like, we get it, because most of the stuff falling out of their people's mouths on all these networks is garbage or a script. So pay no attention, but check out that ass. It's idiocracy. It really is. White House, U.S. will not require Americans to carry a V passport. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We know that I believe eventually it's coming to that anyway. And even if the White House says U.S. will not require, it's not saying nothing about the corporations, the technocracy, which is a big arm of this beast system. So the corporations, of course, can still, and I'm sure will still, before you enter this establishment, you have to have had your, right? This is that Evergreen thing. This is from Top TikTok YouTube channel. Evergreen ship possibly shipping human lives. You guys heard about that? Remember they had the ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal called the Evergreen. Now here's something I hadn't heard. I'm going to show not the whole video, just a little bit where he starts talking about this. Here it is, because there's kind of some language going on here too.
Ain't fucking stuck, my nigga. I keep telling y'all, ain't shit stuck. They had kids on this bitch. There's an Evergreen something blocking traffic in every country. The Suez Canal, freeway in China, motherfucking airplane in China failed. This ain't.
See, that was it. That's one I hadn't heard. That was interesting. I didn't know that. Around the same time, we had these Evergreen blockages. Anyway. Okay, that's it. Sometimes we get random stuff here, okay, folks? Don't get mad at me. Law students' Instagram posting triggers debate over anti-white speech.
Always tell me, like...
This is it. Again, people being programmed, people being triggered, people having scales over their eyes, just focusing on the color of each other, and just nonsense like this, and not looking to the heart, not loving each other like brothers and sisters in Christ, but just more of this kind of division.
Tell me, like, hey, it's such a strong word. Yes, it is. But these are some strong-ass stories I hear, and until I can figure out how to reconcile that in my head and in my heart. I hate white people.
That's it. That's just a little bit of it, but okay, we get it. We understand. It's on both sides. The programming is going both ways, and people are being triggered, right? This was interesting. This is from Sputnik, global wire, radio, and digital news service, been around for a while. Syrian air defense repel Israeli aggression over Damascus. Anytime something's happening around Damascus, my ears perk up, because that's scripture as well. When you see Damascus, a ruinous heap, lift your eyes up because your redemption draws near. I think something to that effect. Don't get mad at me if I don't know the exact scripture, but I know that it's in there, and it's in relation to the end. Damascus is. So keep our eyes on Damascus. See what's going on up there. Boston doctors call for racially discriminating against patients in order to promote social justice. All right, so we get it. Headline. This is a really crazy true crime story here. A former NFL player did this, wiped out the entire family. So I thought this is nuts. Check this out.
Overnight, a former 49er and Raider is accused of a deadly mass shooting in South Carolina.
Killed the whole family, and then police say killed himself. 5 people in this family, a doctor, his wife, and their 2 grandkids were found dead in the house, and then there was another person, a groundskeeper, found dead outside of the house.
Now, according to the Associated Press, the shooter's been identified as Philip Adams. We know he played with both the Niners and the Raiders in the early 2010s, apparently killing himself as well this morning. His body, according to police, found in a house nearby in this mass shooting. That house presumably belonging to his parents, because we know his parents lived near the doctor.
And the doctor, turns out, if you look back, had treated him.
Yeah.
So it appears that there was that connection. Police believe that he was the shooter of the doctor, the wife, the grandchildren. The kids were 9 and 5 years old.
Now, 5th victim, as Daria mentioned, was found outside of the home, and a 6th person was also found with gunshot wounds. That person is hospitalized right now with serious injuries. Again, Adams played with the Niners first. He was drafted by them back in 2010, and then he played with the Oakland Raiders in 2012 and 2013. We are expecting to hear more in a press conference, which is scheduled at some point.
That's about it. Crazy though, right? I mean, crazy. Maple fascism. Canadian police build a giant fence around church to keep parishioners from worshiping in the name of Crown V. Yeah, this is it. I think this is some footage here. I'm not sure if this is the same one. Let's see here. Yeah, I think this might be the same one. It's Alberta, so it's in Edmonton. So that's in Canada, I believe. Anyway, here's some footage of it, of the, just really think about what you're seeing here. Really, and this is another one of those, it's foreshadowing. We've been talking about it for years around here. And we're literally seeing them put a fence around a church over something that's essentially a HOAX, a flu virus. Strain, Event 201, something that was planned. And look how well their plan's working. Incrementally, right? But I wonder how long it's going to be till we start seeing some of this take place in other places, specifically, in our case, America.
As well recently. So again, we'll...
I mean, wow, right? Wow. There it is. There it is. They're fencing up this church. Oh, some of the parishioners were seen hugging. Oh, God, clutching my pearls. Oh, my goodness. It's happening. It's happening. What is No Place for Hate program actually teaching K through 12 students? Oh, boy. Is there a clip? No. It's a long one. I'll read a little bit. Americans agree that schools should be no place for hate. Instead, we should foster respect and reject bullying and racism. But how do we best achieve that shared goal? A program called No Place for Hate, now in more than 1,600 K through 12 schools, so it's already operating, attempts to answer that, but in doing so raises questions about the ideological prism through which it views the problem and about its approach to solving it. Let's get to the good stuff. Concerns begin with the program's requirements. To receive the No Place for Hate designation, at least 75% of a school's students must sign a pledge. It's said to be voluntary, but some teachers are directed to repeatedly urge students who haven't signed the pledge to do so. The pledge itself extols shared virtues, but do kids really need to sign the pledge to be seen as kind, respectful, and rejecting hate? Second, a school that implements the program must cede significant power over day-to-day operations to the national activist group that sponsors it, the Anti-Defamation League. Oh boy, got the ADL in there. Not good. Not good. It's another one of these organizations of the beast. I'm not going to read the whole thing. If you want to, it's on the dailysignal.com. What is No Place for Hate program actually teaching K through 12 students, and it's just more of the same nonsense. Unfortunately, we're all getting used to. We see a lot. We're not getting used to, but we're seeing a lot. Spotify is quietly removing more of Joe Rogan's podcasts after some employees reportedly threatened to strike. It's from yesterday. Just sharing that. Just more of the censorship again. Oh, I don't like that. Take it away. Right? The generation of babies. Babies. Always offended. That's in the Bible as well. People will be constantly offended. Look that up. I think it's in Matthew 24 somewhere. People will be constant offense. People are always offended. And I think it actually uses the word offense, which we see all the time now. I'm offended. Take it away. Report: China detaining Christians in windowless transformation facilities using brainwashing to get them to renounce their faith. Chinese officials are detaining Christians. We got that. RFA said it spoke to a member of a Christian house church who asked to be identified. Oh, we read this earlier. Okay. We read that earlier, I think. Didn't we? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we read that earlier. It's a different site. Study: antidepressant drugs in the water making fish cowardly and nervous. Lund University's Jerker Vinster study studied how the behavior of crucian carp fish when exposed to such pharmaceuticals was similar in nature to their natural stress response to being threatened by a predator. In his paper, he analyzes how the neurotransmitter serotonin, an ingredient of SSRI drugs, affects the fish. The results show that individuals who ingest a relatively high dose become nervous and cowardly in a completely different way than those who do not ingest anything. We already see where this is going. I put this in a recent video, some of the older stories about, years ago, from like a decade ago, these news stories, local news stories. Wow, all surprised. Wow, they found antidepressants for some reason in our water supply over 20 counties, things like this. It happened all over. You find all kinds of stuff, but lots of antidepressants in the water supply in different places around America, probably around the world. I haven't looked into it in a long time, but antidepressant drugs in the water making fish cowardly and nervous. Why would they ever want to put things like that in the water supply, KJ? You're an idiot. No. It's a multi-tiered system, this beast system, and it attacks us on every angle. Guys, I'm not the best at recalling scripture. There's a scripture that talks about how their poison will not affect us. Do you know what I'm talking about? Some of you out there are really good on remembering scripture and where it's at, but for some reason, just that kind of little bit's been in my head for a long time here lately. And their poison will not affect us. How does that work? And they'll be delivered up to be afflicted, and then they'll be killed. But I don't know. How does that work? Is that followers of Christ that are blind in this and being V'd all the way to the end? Unless they don't take that mark, of course, that's the end. If you take the mark, it's done. But can they still, maintain a health throughout before we get to that final one? Or is it just going to be the ones that aren't protected by the Lord that are suffering and having all these adverse reactions and even death after the V? This is off. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not trying to make any kind of a point here or any kind of a stand on anything. I'm just thinking out loud. I wonder. Okay, rambling again. Move on. V passports could be required to enter shops in the UK. We know this. It's from yesterday. Government has been accused of deliberately creating confusion after it was revealed that the V passport could be required to enter shops despite initial assurances that this wouldn't be the case. Just like I showed you that story. You know, the White House says, don't worry about it, America. You ain't going to be forced. Whatever, man. Whatever. Prime Minister BJ and others within the government claimed that the V passport are only being considered for mass gathering events like football matches and music concerts. Sure, it always starts off simple anyway. We get this. We know. There it is. What, Chubbs? Hi. Good boy. I guess this is on the Daily Mirror. Passports for shops. There it is. Anger at new virus plan. French elite caught violating lockdown rules by attending secret restaurants. Don't even need to read anything. We get it. We know rules for thee and not for me, right? And again, it's that spirit, and it's how this newfound power, a lot of these people in these powers of position, from officers on up, a lot of these people, not all of them, but a lot of them are enjoying this newfound power and just this, they're becoming little dictators themselves, the new pharaohs. You know? Poll finds almost half of Americans want the passport. I don't know. It's the Rasmussen, too, it says. A Rasmussen poll. Rasmussen reports 62% of those who say they've gotten the Crown V believe it's a good idea to require proof of the V. Of course they do. Because these are the new, unfortunately, in a lot of ways, these are going to be kind of the new warriors for the NWO. They're going to have all kinds of warriors, different levels of society. The technocracy, and then the SJW, and the BL plus M, and there's all kinds of levels to it. But now a lot of these people that get the V, of course, and we see the power, the shifting powers, and everything that's happening right now, that division in humanity. And a lot of people are finding power in the system. Well, I can tell on you. I can get you in trouble. All right. You know what I mean? It's devilish. It's devilish. So yeah, so a lot of the people getting the V and buying the program, they're going to promote the program, right? So if it comes down to this, then this could be potentially where, again, I don't know where it's at in the Bible, but I know it's about the end times, and maybe that is Matthew 24 again, but speaking about how people will start turning against each other, family, friends, loved ones, whatever, maybe. All right, moving on. Spain passes law mandating face masks even while swimming in the sea. All right, it's just a headline. Dumb, very dumb. Data firm head, China has asked the World Health Organization to let it run the global V passport system. Of course. Just a headline, no surprise. Let's do that. This is on Disclosed Screen, the Grim Reaper YouTube channel. And this is pretty much speaks for itself. It's in Thailand, and they got a very special visitor. And this is really crazy. Check it out.
ทำไมดีอ่ะอยากกินอ่ะลูกอยากกินน้องหนูอยากกินอุ้ยมันอยากกินอุ้ยโอ้โห
Huge.
มันลมโอ้นอนเลยทำยังไงดี
And from what I understand, what's most dangerous about the lizards, these types, is it's their venom. It's like if they bite you, I guess the most dangerous thing is if they penetrate the skin, they get some of their venom or whatever it is in your system. Apparently that's I could be wrong. You guys let me know, correct me in the chat or in the comments, but from what I remember, I saw something a while back about this. I think I showed a clip on one of my KJs, What Happened. I did, where a guy was running away from one of these things and he climbed up a tree and it started coming up the tree after him and he got away. I guess he went higher up and was kicking at it or whatever. And maybe he was talking about it. And they have, you see in their mouths, there'll be just all this just goo, right? So anyway, moving on. But I love animals so much. It's like you wish you could play with it. You wish you could pet it. And I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe it's a domesticated one. I'm not sure. I mean, some people have these things as pets. Still not a big fan of the reptiles in general. It's huge. All right, there you go. It's a monster. And the last video of the night, also from Disclosed Screen, the Grim Reefar. This is a really cool catch. This is crazy, man. Another one of those sky anomalies taking place out there. Glitch in the Matrix, some may call it. Veil thinning, stranger things coming in, whatever. But look at this. This is really crazy. Took place in Brazil.
Olha, mano, se liga o bagulho no vídeo, mano.
Eu tô vendo aqui no seu celular, ó. Olha. Olha, parece aquelas luzes da aurora
parece
boreal.
Um raio de luz saindo assim, ó.
Olha, parece aquela aurora boreal. Quem fala vai achar que você tá vendo, ó. Mano, que paloso que tá, cara. Eu não vou dormir essa noite, não. E vou acordar amanhã. Eu nunca vi isso na minha vida.
Bagulho louco, mano.
Olha no celular que fica. Ninguém vai entender nada. Vai achar que tá numa balada.
It's pretty much, now he's slowing it down, but it's pretty wild, huh? Weird. Anyway, that actually concludes the show. So I'm going to jump over here to the chat real quick, throw a little background on up there. There we go. Just say hi, man. Hey, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate you. I hope you're doing good. Hope you're hanging in there, not getting bummed out. I know we look at some pretty weird stuff. I know my channel is called The Scariest Movie Ever. I've explained that in the past. It's a good way to shake people awake. Sometimes it is scary, the things you have to show people, but it's truth. Some of the scariest things are true things, but they're hidden. You know, a lot of the things are hidden from us. So once again, guys, thank you for being here. Big shout out to the moderators. Always appreciate you. Thank you to our friends overseas who stay up really late or get up really early to watch this live and be in the chat. Thanks. And for everyone else, just thanks. Always. Big shout out, of course, to my Patreon and PayPal supporters. Guys, you're amazing. I can't thank you enough. Thank you. Got another video working on right now for YouTube and a couple smaller for off YouTube. So something new will be up this week. As always, next Thursday, I'll have another show right here. I'm also going to reschedule my KJ Collins show because we got to do one. As I said, I would have done it if I didn't have the strike last week. So we'll get that rescheduled here. Probably put it up tomorrow or something, reschedule it for a few days from now. And I think that's about it, man. I always like to end on a short prayer. So I'll just say, Heavenly Father, as always, Lord, thank you so much. Thanks for the platform. Thanks for the people. Thanks that we can still discuss all of these things and try to piece it all together and make sense of it all. Always with you at the heart of everything. So thank you once again. Please lift us all up out there too, Lord. Don't let people get too down. There's a lot of sadness, a lot of death, a lot of bad things happening out there right now, and a lot of people giving up hope. Just please, Lord, stay with them all out there. Anyone listening to the show, everybody out there, all the listeners, Lord, please just lift them all up. No fear, and just keep us all in peace, Lord, please. And thank you so much for that too. I love you. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen. And to you guys, thank you. Much love to you, man, for real. I appreciate you guys. We're going to keep going. If something ever happens to this show, I'll just start it probably on Odyssey or something else. I understand Odyssey has opened up live streaming. So maybe we'll do that, and I can, I'll let you know. But, it's staying in the fight. We got to dodge and weave. It gets a little crazy. Please pray for the protection that we don't get hit for some more medical misinformation stuff. It's crazy, right? Anyway, hey, thank you once again, guys. Really, I appreciate you. Y'all have a great night. Have a wonderful weekend coming up, and maybe I'll do the show Saturday. I'm not sure. I'll let you know, Ben, but I've got some more stuff, as always, coming up for you, all right? Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.